Good morning. Welcome to the Kingdom Day Traders channel. On this channel, we seek to make an impact, standing for the kingdom, making an impact in our trading, our community, and ourselves. Now, what are we looking at this morning? We're looking at the SPY, which is the ETF for the SP 500. Now, as a day trader, it is very, very, very important for you to understand market structure and to be able to analyze the charts so that you can find your entries or if you should be in the trade itself. And so, what I'm going to do in this video is we're going to actually look at some pre market setups to find out where we should be. So, first things first that you need to ask yourself is what direction is the market going into? And so, from what I'm seeing, is I'm noticing that we're having a consistent level of highs followed by lows, followed by highs, followed by lows, followed by highs, followed by lows. And so, I'm going to use this tool right here, which is called your trend line. And we're just going to draw that across. And that kind of gives us a way to gauge where the market could go. Now, one thing that you have to understand as you start to learn how to day trading is a game of probability. And so, what we do on this channel is we have something called the M3 Dominion strategy, which is a way for you to win in your trading by first starting in your mind. Say this with me: mindset, multiplication, and management. M3 strategy. Now, moving forward, as I'm looking at this, I'm noticing that price kind of hit a peak right here, dropped down to a low, which would be called a swing low right here. And then now price is kind of going back and forth and going very near the trend line. Now, anytime that you're trading, the first thing that you also want to do outside of identifying the trend is you want to do something called a top-down analysis. Day trading, you're usually looking at time frames of a daily, 4 hour, 1 hour, 15 minutes. And so a lot of my people that want to trade options, they like to trade the spider, which is the SPY. Now, what I'm going to do next is actually go to my 4 hour time frame. And on my 4 hour time frame, what I'm trying to identify is really just structure in the market. I want to see what is the market telling me. And when I look to my far left over here, right, I'm going to draw another arrow. And one thing with my trainings, I like to draw areas that you should be paying attention to, because right here in this area, at one time, this was a structure and price went down and then it broke above this structure. So it would be fair to say that we would want to kind of put a line over here so that we can be aware of what's going on. And so that green line, which I'm going to change to black, is going to represent what we need to pay attention to. Because you don't want to lose yourself. You want to know what's going on in the market. Why is the market doing this? And so as I zoom in a little bit, I'm also noticing that we actually have a pre-market number of 457.90, excuse me, 458. So it looks like as we speak, even though the market is not open, that we do have some strong potential to an upside. Now, one of the things that you have to focus on as well is finding areas in the market where major institutions are buying and selling. In essence, that is what moves the market. You have sellers, you have buyers. There's the yin, there's the yang. It's the institutions versus the retail traders. And so retail traders cannot do what everybody else is doing because if you do, you will consistently blow your account. You have to know the rules to the game. Now, as I'm going through this, though, I want to kind of zoom in right to this area right here. And as I zoom into this area, there's a structure where I'm seeing right here, and I'll kind of highlight it for you guys, that when price was here, it literally took off. It took off, right? What I'm seeing. So price went up, it kind of retested right here, and then it just took off. But notice it actually came right back down to the same area. And now we're starting to get these big institutional candles. Now, do me a favor. Tell this to yourself. Follow the money. Follow the big candles. The reason that you need to follow the big candles is because in these big candles, it literally is a footprint that the market is showing you. This is where major institutions took their buy or took their sell. And so what I'm seeing right now is we had a series of red candles. The sellers dropped these big candles in the market, and literally they came and they picked up some unfilled orders, right? And now it's starting to take off. And if you look at the numbers right now, you have 457.36, which is the price that market had closed off at, right? But now we have the pre-market, which is at 458.30. So what I'm believing is we're going to see a spike when the market opens. If you're going to take a trade, I would say that you definitely want to be aware of these areas. And there's even gaps in the market as well, which is a whole different video. But do me a favor, take time to learn market structure. Now, here's another tool I want to give you as well. And this video is just kind of showing how I look at the markets, my trading style, because I want you to really just start to grasp this. What you don't hear from a lot of people on the internet or even in advertising is they don't tell you how stressful trading can be. They don't tell you the level of anxiety that trading can bring. And so, if you don't have a trusted plan, if you don't know your edge, if you haven't mastered your mindset, you know what's going to happen? You're going to get frustrated. You're going to get out too early. You're going to end up blowing accounts. And so do not try to do this game if you don't have the fundamentals. Do not try to trade if you don't have a strategy. Does that make sense? And so what we focus on here, M3 strategy, having a strategy for your mind, having a strategy for multiplication, which is your skill, and most importantly, having a management strategy. When do I exit? When do I take profits? When do I say, you know what? I don't like to trade. I'm not looking at it. Let me give you a little bit more before I close this off. So now I'm seeing that we have a series of candles. We had a big red candle, which was the seller's candle. We had a green institution candle, followed by a smaller one. I think what we need to pay attention to is these series of candles. And again, this is a game of probability, but it looks like we've came into a zone where the buyers are going to want to take the market up. But please make sure that if you take this trade, that perhaps you put your stop loss right where this red line is going to be. And the reason that you want to do this is each and every time you have to have an exit strategy. Is everybody listening to me? You have to have an exit strategy. The markets will do what the markets want to do. But if you don't know when to get out, if you think that hope is a strategy or you just believe it's supposed to go up, you're going to have a lot of sleepless nights. You're going to feel very frustrated because you have to have a plan to exit. I just want to keep on reiterating that. You have to have a plan to exit. And so if I were to enter this trade, I would look at this area and want to find out, are we still in some good momentum? And so as it seems right now on the 4 hour, we're seeing that. Now, let me go down one more level. I'm going to go down to the 1 hour chart. And on the 1 hour chart, what I'm also noticing is that we have a doji candle that's being formed, right? Right here. Yep, doji candle, DOJI. And so in doji candles, those are candles that are indifference candles. And so again, we have to pay attention to market structure from a larger time frame and then do something called top-down analysis. Let me show you a couple of more things. So I'm going to take out my trend line right here, and I'm noticing that we're starting to get a good trend right here, right? Does everybody see that? Notice that the market touched this area, and this is the 1 hour chart. I'm trying to do this with my finger one time. Let me get my mouse over here. 2 times. Oh, you guys are starting to see it, right? We have 3 times. Next time you record a video self, make sure you use your mouse. And then 4 times, right here. So let me ask you a question. What is the probability that price might come right back here? What's the probability that it might come right back on that line? Now, remember, by this being a game of probability, we want to ask ourselves, does this make sense? And so when I look at this area right here, it's basically telling me that we're starting to have some candle structure, which we had sellers come in, they dropped it here. Now we've had 3 candles in a row of buyers. Price is kind of halting around right here. I believe that we're going to at least see some upside to touch this trend line, but we still need to have a good stop in place. So do me a favor, if you feel like you got some value in this video, please go ahead and subscribe. We trade intentionally. That is what Kingdom Day Traders is about. My name is Coach Brian King. We do this to make an impact. Say it with me, please. Three M's: mindset, multiplication, and management. We call that the M3 Dominion strategy. With that being said, be blessed. Hopefully, you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to having you subscribe in future videos as well. Thank you. God bless.